Welcome to another episode of the Final Forecast featuring me, one of your co-hosts, Kevin Jones. Got my lovely co-host Ashley with me.
That's me.
Super producer Dave is in the building.
Welcome back, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks. It feels good to be back. And John is somewhere that we don't know because he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He does
He
not
literally
care
said,
about
can't
people.
make it 5 minutes before.
He does not care about people. Yeah, I thought he was too, but you never know with John. He probably really is doing something important. But Dave said he's an absentee father, so I'm just gonna doubt that he's not doing anything with his kids. So we know that.
I think it's funny because we haven't seen you in a while because of your basketball season, and you finally are able to join us. And then John's like, "Yeah, I'm good, guys. I'm gonna step back on this one."
But for no reason though, like there was nothing behind it other than I don't want to be here.
That's it. He's probably like, "Man, I'm hungry. I don't feel like recording right now."
Right.
That's all. That's it.
Right.
So what have you been up to? Let's talk. You got season going on. What we've missed you.
Right. I appreciate that. Now I've been doing good. Like we had 2 games this past weekend. We won both games, so that was good. 11 games overall left in the season, so we're trying to make a little playoff push right now. Still a little bit tight, but you know we could still do it. And we're 5 games out of final playoff spot. So we'll see what happens.
Ooh,
yeah,
it's that time of the year.
Yeah. I know. I can't wait. Like it's been a long year, especially for me. A lot of stuff going on. So
I'm sure. Yeah.
Just trying to finish the season strong as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Especially
if you retire after this year,
Yeah, I know. This might be it. So gotta make the most of it. We'll see.
By the way,
though.
you get a bonus if you get into playoffs?
No, I mean sometimes you can negotiate a bonus in your contract, but this contract I don't have any bonuses. So
got you.
Yeah, I really don't have any incentive to make the playoffs, so fuck it. Fuck them. No, I'm just kidding.
Kevin's just phoning it in.
Other than ending on a high
I'm
note,
kidding,
right?
Guys. I really want to.
I know. You're competitive. You're competitive in nature. I don't see you just being like, fuck it.
Right, yeah.
No big
But besides that, everything else is good. How y'all been?
Good. Just busy, so that's it. But we've really missed you. Seriously, it's felt kind of weird without you.
I know. I've been wanting to get on, but like the times I've been having earlier practices just because the way the schedule's been going, so I couldn't. But I'm always here for y'all when y'all need me. So
we appreciate that.
Yeah, you and John and Dave been holding it down. So
we try. There's been so much going on. I mean, so we haven't heard from you. I want your thoughts. This DeVries situation, like what?
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts? I have to know.
Man, so my initial thought is well, the way he handled it was sucky.
Yeah.
But my initial thought was like, it doesn't surprise me. Like it's the NCAA is the wild, wild west right now, and concerning coaches, players, everything, you don't know who's going to stick around unless you lock somebody into a big contract. You don't know who's going to stick around year by year.
True.
And I love Coach DeVries as a coach. It seems he's like a winning coach, but I never thought he had any real loyalty to West Virginia like that. I didn't think he was going to go anywhere after this year, especially with the success he had and with the limited resources, so to speak, and of how he was able to come in and recruit and didn't really have, the full complement of players, and he did what he did. So I thought he was going to run it back and when he had a full off season to get new players, but I'm not surprised at all. And there's no loyalty to anything right now as far as NCAA basketball is concerned. So
that is true. And I mean, I think we've seen it like with coaches making moves left and right, and also teams. Like, look at Texas, dude. How long was that coach there? 2 fucking years? Mm-hmm. And they're just like, bye. Like,
and they made the NCAA. They made it. Bro, that's how it is. That's how it be sometimes.
That's crazy. But so speaking of the NCAA tournament, what are your thoughts about West Virginia not getting in?
Oh, dang, I didn't speak about that.
No, we haven't seen you.
Dang, that's been a minute then. I think we should have made it, but I'm not mad that we didn't make it because we did have a bad loss against that Colorado loss killed us.
Yes.
If we would have just won that game, we're in like no doubt. Sometimes you got to leave it out of the people's hands and like put destiny in your own hands sometimes, which I feel like we did. We still should have made it regardless of that Colorado loss, but that really hurt us. And so I'm not as mad that we didn't make it. I'm more mad about the people who did make it over us. That's what I'm more mad about than anything. So it's okay, if we didn't, cool. But this North Carolina, Texas, nah, like we not doing that.
That's
We're
what I'm
not
saying.
doing that.
But
So
it was odd.
yeah.
The next two highest, at least in the four that were first four out, us and Indiana, of course, both on that list. They were low beneath of us, but still, we were still like in the running. Do we think now, looking back on this, that like some people in that room may have known what was going on behind closed doors and was like, do we or don't we? I have to ask that question. It's almost a conspiracy at this point that maybe they knew what was going on.
Yeah, and that could be correct, and I don't know the answer to that. But regardless, I don't think that should have affected if we got into the tournament or not, because that doesn't have any bearing on the season of what we did. So if that was the case and we didn't make it because of that, that would be the dumbest reason I've ever heard in my life.
Especially when it's not about no offense, the coach. It has nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with that team. And Javon Small, who fucking worked so goddamn hard.
Yeah. All those guys.
My heart breaks for him, dude, because he fucking put it all on the line and carried that team. And for this to happen to him is just heart wrenching.
Yeah, and I heard that he put like a tweet or whatever out, after it happened, with just like laughing. So I can tell he felt some type of way about it, and I would too if I was in his position, because he did pour out his heart and soul into the team, and they did deserve to make the tournament, or at least play in some kind of postseason games.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to NIT, it's tricky. Because as a competitor, especially if you felt like you should have been in the big dance and you go to the NIT, you feel like it's a step down. But I think now, with the way everything is happening, everything is always an audition. So whether you play in the NIT, whether you play in the Crown, it's all an audition for the next level, especially if you're a senior. It's like you want as many people to see you as much times as they can. So I don't know why they X'd out the NIT, but after that I was like, oh yeah, he's out. Coach DeVries is out.
That's it. And we had the opportunity to play in the Crown, which I didn't pay attention to too much the postseason about that, but that was a new thing that Fox decided to do this year. And only certain conferences got invited to participate in the Crown, the Big 12 being one of them, the SEC, and the Big 10. So it's still heavy competition, and it was like a weekend tournament. It wasn't anything too extreme, but it's a good way to showcase your talents. And you make a good point that these kids, especially nowadays, need to continue to show what they can do. But not only that, we're also talking sponsorship dollars. The more they're on screen time, the more those sponsorship dollars matter, and the more that they're earning that paycheck. So by telling anybody that, oh, we're not into, if we don't make the NCAA tournament, we're done.
Right.
I don't think sponsors are going to like that. You know what I mean? We pay these kids to come here and play. I expect to see them play.
Right. And with that being said too, I know Coach Huggins always told us that he wasn't going to coach us if we if we went to if we went to the NIT. I'm sure he was just joking about that. But some guys, when you've experienced that level of success in the NCAA tournament, you don't want to go to the NIT because you feel like it diminishes your legacy in a way. But I don't see it like, well, I see it like that for the coaches, but as a player, you always want to keep playing somehow. So even if I was playing, I wouldn't necessarily want to go to NIT, but like I would still want to play in something. So that's it. And
dude, 1,400 kids went into the portal this year. 1,400.
That's insane. Listen,
1,400.
This is the. So one more time, what was that number?
1,400.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, that's crazy.
Sorry, can you say that one more time for clarity? We didn't get it.
Fuck off.
Nah, but seriously, I heard 700 went in like the first day or something.
Dude. And that's
so
how
they
many
couldn't
went
wait
last year. Like, are you kidding me? Now we've doubled that?
Yeah, I think the NCAA is gonna have to. They overcorrected with the with the money and the portal. I feel like we're gonna have to go back somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? Like I'm all for people wanting to leave a situation that they don't like, but at the same time, it's also enabling people to not fight through things.
That's it.
Because there could have been plenty times. There was plenty times when I thought like, oh shit, like I don't know if I want to stay here. Just like being candid, like because things were so tough and just not knowing if I can get through it. But I'm so glad that I stuck through it and seeing what was on the other side. And a lot of these kids are transferring to 2, 3, 4 schools. And the same thing is happening because it's like it doesn't matter who the coach is, doesn't matter what the program is. If you aren't changed as a person and a player, you're gonna run into the same things. So it's kind of enabling these guys. I can't even say kids anymore. It's enabling these guys to not fight through stuff. And and you're getting the money, and that's cool. And I think that's a reason why a lot of people are doing it. But also, I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure in the future, just with anything.
I would agree. And I also would have to give a partial argument to, I think the longer this goes on, the more that deep pockets are starting to realize I'm not throwing money at every player you want to bring in. Like now I'm going to know who I want to throw money at, and I'm only going to throw it at the top dog, because at the end of the day, how many players have we seen, no offense, come through and get good sponsorship dollars who fucking warm the bench all fucking year?
Exactly.
Sorry, not sorry, but like you have to earn that paycheck. There's a reason why when you're in the NBA, you get paid a certain salary at a certain point in your career. Or of course, freaking Steph Curry's getting big money with, sponsorships because of what he's done so far in the league. Not because of, he's the talk of the town coming into the league. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you have to put the work in. And these kids, I think, are disillusioned in that respect.
Yeah, they are. And this has conditioned them to be that way, because you can look at it like, I go somewhere, I'm getting this X amount of money regardless. If I stay, if I sit the bench, if I produce, if I don't produce, I'm getting the same amount of money. So what's the incentive for me to want to be a part, or want to be a team player, or care about like my stats, or like what's the motivation? That's what I'm saying about like the internal motivation to play, because obviously the external is to get the money, but then the competitiveness is that's what's lacking. And it's a wild time, and I am happy that they're getting their money, because I feel like it's deserved, and I feel like it's past due.
Yes.
But again, we need to go back the other way now. We overcorrected too far, and now we need to go back to some middle ground where it's some kind of, laws going on that is, you can't skip from place to place. You should only be able to get like 1 or 2 transfers at the most, and like that should be it. But now it seems like dudes is going to 4 or 5 schools. I'm like, I'm looking at these stats, and I don't want to diminish the people, like guys' work of what they did, because it's all still impressive. But I'm like, bro, if it took you 5 years to get 2,000 points, or like all these records that are being had, but it's like, bro, you've been in college forever. So like you should get this. So it's just it's a wild time, but I think that eventually we'll go back somewhat normalcy, somewhat in the middle.
It's definitely
so
gonna
we'll
have to even out eventually, because I mean, people who have money, but like rich people don't like to spend their money either on things that don't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No offense, the stock market's down, boys, by a lot.
I know it? Do I know it?
Rich people are losing money left and right. You better go to a school you want to go to.
Right.
That's all.
I'm glad I'm not a sponsor or endorser. Like,
oh shit.
Yeah, I'm pulling out my money quick.
That's it.
I'm good.
Amen. Amen.
I need a sure thing.
That's it. So crazy.
So what?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was going to ask you. I mean, because like I said, we've missed you. So, your thoughts on Coach Hodge? Like, have you seen anything? What are your thoughts? Scenarios.
So
whatnot?
I did not know him.
Okay.
I did not know of him, other than that he was at North Texas, where Ren Baker came from. So that's the only thing I know about him. He has been getting a lot of endorsements from other well-known coaches, sports analysts and stuff like that. So that's encouraging. But you never know what's going to happen with somebody until they get there. So, and they could have had success other places, but you don't know if that's going to transfer over to your school.
That's it.
And he seems like a guy that's going to stay around a long time. He seems like he's getting real ingratiated in West Virginia, the culture.
Yeah.
So that's always good. And I feel like we're just like a scorned woman right now. We're just a scorned woman. We don't want to believe in anything. We don't care what nobody says. Like, we don't believe you. So I just feel like we got to get past that. And I think that this will be I think Coach DeVries made this really going to be really tough on Coach Hodge, because he's going to be looked at under a microscope, like the biggest of microscopes. So I just wish that we give him a fair shot and see what he does, man. You just never know. You don't know what's going to happen. Seems like he doesn't have a lot of experience being a head coach, so that's kind of worrying. But neither did Joe Mazzulla, and look where he is. Look where he is now. So there's always that diamond in the rough, that exception to the rule. So I hope that that's the case for him. What do you think about him, Ash?
I mean, I said this our last podcast. Again, same as you. He's not a battle-tested coach by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a little concerned with what he's done against other tournament teams in play, because he hasn't beaten any. But that also could just be because of what he has to work with. You know what I mean? Now he's got deeper pockets. He's got the ability to do more. I don't know if you saw or not, but he did end up landing a 7-foot tall forward. So he got a big guy.
We haven't had a legit 7-footer in a long time.
It's been a fucking minute, and this kid just rebounds.
Okay.
So,
we need
that's great. And he's played. I mean, he played in the tournament, and he played against other Big 12 teams. He killed it. So I mean, I think he's got that. He's got that kind of mentality and that kind of success. So if he builds a team around a big like that, I mean, we'll see what happens. But I will say his opening statement was really cool. He said, "Country roads take me home. Man, this is an incredible honor. This is a blessing, and this is an opportunity that I certainly don't take lightly. The one thing you hear when you hear anyone talk about West Virginia, the first thing that comes out of everyone's mouth is you will love these people. There is not better people anywhere on the planet than the people of West Virginia." And I got to tell you, he's already been to a baseball game. He did some stuff with Ren early on where he's literally getting out there and he is meeting the people, which is something DeVries did not do. I think that shows the want to be here. I think it shows that he wants to belong to Mountaineer Nation, which I think is huge. And there's another part of him that I think is very promising, and that he is, according to the experts, one of the best defensive minds in the country.
Okay, right.
So that's fucking awesome. Two areas I feel like we may have been lacking in years past: not having bigs and not playing D. So
that's no, that's good points, and it sounds like he's doing everything right. And this is I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, because like it's so easy to come in and say all the right things, and West Virginia people are the best people on the planet until a new job comes along and they offer you millions of dollars, and then it's like, all right, y'all, I'll see you later. So it's always easy to say that, but he is saying the right things, and I have no choice but to believe him at this point. And I'm glad that he is a defensive-minded coach, because now we're getting back to the days of, I feel like that's the identity since Coach Huggins was there and doing Press Virginia and with us, it's always been like the blue collar mentality, and fans have gravitated towards that. So I think this is just a new version of that. And, I wish him success. He has deeper pockets, like you said. So the recruiting, I don't know how good of a recruiter he is, but he seems like a very genuine person, like a very, open and honest person. So I think that's something that that recruits will gravitate towards as well. And
absolutely.
yeah, I'm excited just about a new era of basketball. It doesn't.
I am too.
Yeah, sometimes you can't look back on like what you lost. I mean, Coach DeVries was a good coach, and I don't know how he'll do at Indiana, but he did a good job here in the season that he had. But it's on to new things. Like we gotta just move on.
I know that you think very much like me in the way of everything happens for a reason, right? I think what is intended to happen will happen. So one of two things, and maybe both can be mutually beneficial to one another, and that is maybe Ross Hodge was meant to be here at West Virginia and do good things, and maybe DeVries was meant to leave and maybe not necessarily do such great things. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know. Like, and that's the thing too, is that we also do have to remember that we didn't make the tournament. We didn't.
That's it.
So it's not like we're missing anything that significant because we didn't make the tournament. So it's like kind of like I don't even know what would call this year, because this is a weird year.
It's a weird year, and also I don't feel this is gonna sound horrible. I feel like since it was such a short moment in our time that it's like I'm about to. It was such a brief flash in the pan that it's like, are we really out anything? Because we didn't have a deep bench all year. We said that all year long that was going to be our problem, and it was. And I don't know that DeVries was going to bring anybody better. I can't say that I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't know that he was even out there recruiting for us, to be honest.
And it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like he already had his eyes set on something else.
That's it.
And I don't want. Again, if something comes along from someone, obviously from the other perspective, from our perspective, and how much we're invested in the in the state and the university, obviously we see it one way, like how the fuck could you do that? How could you be talking to somebody else? But it is a business, so I get that part too. It's like you have to do what you need to do for yourself and your family if you feel like a better opportunity is coming along. I just felt like things could have been handled better. I don't know if you guys talked about this, or like did he did he tell the players that he was gonna?
We don't know. We do
exactly.
not
Nobody
know.
knows.
Nobody knows, because he has said nothing to Mountaineer Nation. Ren has not said anything about what had happened behind any kind of closed doors. We don't know shit. All I know is he left West Virginia in the blink of an eye, and next thing you know, he's doing PR for Indiana, and it's just gross. Oh, what is this? So Sincere tweeted laughy cry faces to Jim Rome's tweet, which was, when it's Indiana and you say it to yourself or anybody else, that brand and that opportunity, the resources, it was just something I couldn't pass up. At Coach DeVries on leaving West Virginia after one season.
But that's what I'm talking. And that's what I'm talking about, though. Is like,
I don't think he told them shit.
Yeah, but even at that, though, it's just there's a way to do things, and there's a way to be like. This was just, I don't know. I just don't like it. You could,
That's all you got to do. He could have went to Ren and said, "Listen, man, I'm gonna level with you. Indiana has made a phone call to me, and what, right, wrong, or indifferent, this is where we're at. And I gotta be honest, I think it's wonderful. I love being here. You're great. All the wonderful things, but you're not gonna be able to give me the opportunity that they're gonna be able to give me.
Right.
So I want to let you know, as a man, that this is happening, and it's time for you to look for another coach. Love you, brah, but I'm gonna go after this season."
Exactly, and that's the way you handle things. You don't.
That's it.
And he might have. I don't know. He might have. He just might not have said it to anybody else. But it's just like, at least you could put out a presser just saying, how thankful you were to be here. You know what I mean? I don't know if he did that. Did he do that?
What?
Did Coach DeVries do a presser
He's
about
done
like?
absolutely nothing, Kev.
Oh, so he hasn't even thanked West
did the
Virginia, the
midnight-
university, or
No, he did the midnight run from the landlord. He
yo,
just dipped out.
that's nasty.
We didn't
The
get
thing
like
is
an apology letter. No, thank you, Mountaineer Nation. No.
That's crazy.
I
So-
spoke with our team, and after tough conversations, I've decided to leave. No, nothing.
Yeah.
None of that.
Ash, this could be a perfect time for you to bring up the letter that John wrote. Because we hinted at last time, Kev, about the letter that he wrote, signed from all the
Alumni
players.
Yeah, we're not doing that again.
No, and honestly, it's
At least.
So, okay, so let's bring it back. We mentioned it briefly last week. So when Darian DeVries came in, John did a really cool thing. He had like a Best Virginia letter, had the alumni all come together and write this beautiful letter to Darian, welcoming him to
Thank you.
Mountaineer Nation. And basically saying like, excited to have you here. It was a very heartfelt letter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the time, John didn't tell us this, but now he's telling us this. He goes, he seemed a little like not interested when we presented him the letter to begin with. Like he seemed like he had better shit to do than to accept this. And John had it like framed nicely. Dale Sparks did this a whole thing. You know what I mean? It was a beautifully presented. Yeah, and like something that a coach could hang in his office and feel proud of. Well, John receives a text message from someone on the Mac, and he said, "Kind of awkward situation for me, but I was asked if you would want this back." And it is the framed letter that our alumni got together and presented to fucking Coach DeVries. He left it fucking behind, dude.
Yeah, he never.
He never cared.
He never cared, and I was only around him a couple of times, so I couldn't really get a vibe on him whether he would stay or not. So I don't really know his personality like that. So,
and we never got to talk to him. I hated that we didn't get to talk to him because I guarantee you, I would have a lot more to say at this moment than I do now. Because those people you meet and you're like, you fucking shady fuck. Like, I know you. Yeah. I see you.
Yeah, let's call it for what it is. It was a weasel move.
That's it.
Wasn't an honorable move. I mean, it doesn't mean that it wasn't right for him and his family, but just like there's just certain ways you do things just respectfully.
The
especially
only person in this world that's going to look out for you is you. But at least you could do well by others that are there to help you.
Especially since I feel like we are the reason that you got that job in the first place.
Yep.
Was he up for the Indiana job when he was at Drake? It was like we were his spring.
That's a good point, because they knew
we were his springboard. We were his springboard to try to get this job. So at least be thankful for that.
Facts.
And he hasn't talked anything about it. So like I just try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but actions speak louder than words. So
you said, looking back on what he said in his introductory
what did he say
last year, or you brace yourself for this one. First fucking line of this article: the next head coach of WVU men's basketball has arrived in Morgantown. He can see himself staying in the Mountain State for years to come.
Oh wow!
First fucking sentence.
See,
man.
and that's why it's hard to trust anything anybody says, because you can say all that sounds good when you first get here. But like I said, we got to move on, and we got to we still have a program to cheer for and to root for, and I just hope people give Russ Hodge the chance.
It's going to be Russ Hodge, Offrey Neve, and this new 7-footer.
Offrey Neve's been through it. If I'm Offrey Neve, I'm going. He's been through it.
Someone said they should put a statue of him outside.
For real.
Absolutely. That guy deserves all our mad respect, okay? We should erect a statue, name a freaking meal after him at a local restaurant. Exactly. I'm just saying.
The Offrey.
The Offrey.
The Offrey Neve. It never leaves the menu.
It never leaves. It never leaves the menu.
No matter what the restaurant becomes, Italian, whatever. It's just like
the restaurant changes its name too.
It's like the chicken nuggets and fries of a menu. It's not going anywhere.
Listen, he's better than chicken nuggets and fries. Okay, I'm just saying.
Chicken nuggets and fries is elite. What are you talking about?
And And he might get a chance with this new coach.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You never know.
You never
This
know.
might be the time he shines. So we'll see.
That's
and
it.
So some other Mountaineers have hit the transfer portal and gone to other schools. Armani Hansberry went to Virginia Tech along with assistant coach Chester Frazier. KJ Tenner went to Murray State. Sincere Harris went to Cincinnati. And another former Mountaineer, Kirk Creasa, went from Kentucky to Cincinnati to go along with Sincere Harris. So
yeah,
a lot of people moving, a lot of
That's
movement, a lot of, and I just don't know I don't know how that works. Like if a coach leaves, does the university give you a chance to see if you want to stay? Or it's like, whose decision is that?
That's a really good question. I think whenever it comes to other coaching staff, I'm pretty sure they don't really get a look, unfortunately, because whoever the new coach that comes in brings his own people, he gets to choose his own staff, all that, which is unfortunate. I think the players are given an opportunity,
contracts.
But you're not guaranteed. Say it again, Dave?
Employees are on yearly contracts, so they can just non-renew them.
So there's that.
Which is, I think, what happened today, Sean.
Oh.
Okay.
That's a bummer.
Which is another thing. Oh, my bad. Not to cut. Which is another thing that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say what Chester Frazier had said because he had tweeted out from the heart, blue and gold hearts, which should be gold and blue, but that's okay. What a year!
You and Dave were really.
I'm just saying. It's just
as 66240 once sang, it's the gold and the blue.
And we're coming for you.
Man.
Yeah. What a year. Thought this was probably my most rewarding year as a coach. We got a lot out of this group and they gave us everything they had. A group that was fun to be around and coach, from the Italy trip to the last buzzer in Kansas City. I had no doubt we built a resume that deserved to be in the field. Agreed. Want to say thank you to all of our players, the staff, administration, fans, and everyone who played a part in the season. How fun was the Bahamas trip? Winning in the fog at home versus Iowa State. Want to send special thanks to our seniors. Appreciate the way you represented this season. It wasn't easy, but we sure found a way. Future is bright for all of you. To the Mountaineer fans, you guys are the best. Thanks for your undying loyalty and love for WVU. You guys made my family feel welcomed, and we will always be appreciative. We wish we could have finished what we had started, but I'm sure you guys will be great. With love, Frage.
And this is how
that always brings a
this
tear
is
to
how
my eye.
you go.
That's it. That brings
This is
a
how
tear
you
to my
go.
eye. You know what, Chester? You are welcome back in Morgantown anytime,
Exactly.
my friend.
You're
Anytime.
an honorary Mountaineer.
Absolutely. Forever and always. You want to come
Exactly.
back, we'll treat you like a king.
And that's all it takes, man. It's just like little something. It doesn't seem like big in the grand scheme of things, but all it takes is something little like that to show appreciation. You know what I mean? And I was gonna say before you read that, Ash, it's weird because he wasn't hired on the Indiana staff with Coach DeVries, which I don't.
Right?
Because usually when a coach leaves, they have their people that they take with them everywhere they go. And I'm not sure if he was at Drake with him, or this was their first year coaching together. But I just find that kind of weird as well that he didn't go with him to Indiana.
I agree.
I wonder if anybody else
Usually
did.
They bring their guys with them, so that is a really good point.
I just think he just did this for himself and just dipped. I don't think he particularly cared, and that's that's projecting my thoughts onto it, so it could be entirely wrong. But in my belief, it just seems like they just dipped because it was literally. It's not that he took another job. Like I said, the only person that's ever going to look out in life for you is you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that, like, literally the day after we got rejected and said, "No, we're not going to play in those other things," they were gone and already in a press video, like in gear, like at the event, like looking right. So it was like Ren went to bat for these people. We had the big press behind us. We had all this great stuff, and then all of a sudden, they were already in a video, like hyping people up, showing more personality than they had in the entire last year.
Right.
I know, right?
That's why it was a bit of a slap in the face. Like, yeah, you don't have to like your former work. You don't have to ever talk to your work friends again. But, like, you got paid pretty well in a state that doesn't pay people very well. So you're
I wonder
more than
if
just a coach here.
Yeah, I wonder if there was something else. If it was just strictly like this is a better job So that's why I'm taking it, because we offered them. Ren offered them too, right? They like counter offered or something, or they tried to keep him, right?
Didn't even give him the opportunity to match it at the last number. Ren would have done it. No doubt about it. He would have fucking matched.
So I wonder.
It wasn't about resources. Remember that, Ash?
Oh yeah.
And then in this quote, he's like, "Well, the resources are too good."
Yeah.
Bro, yeah. That's
Ash,
what I'm
we
saying.
need an air jerk off motion for the video feed. I'm jiffing that.
Oh,
that's how I feel about it. Literally, and again, Kevin, back to what you're saying. If it was truly just a better opportunity, we totally would have understand. Be a man and fucking say it. Say it with your chest. You know what I mean?
And we were all kind of suspecting he would go to Iowa because that was his alma mater,
which would have made more sense.
You can't feel bad for it. Like, it sucks, but like, alma mater, family's close by, whatever.
Just like we know Ben McCollum might have been up for the job for WVU. We weren't mad that he went to Iowa. That's his home state. That's his home crowd. All that shit. Got you.
Do you want to see a crazy transition happen?
What?
Well, we know that it's only a short shelf life for how angry we stay at a coach that leaves. Hey, Ash, it was the spring game this weekend, and Rich Rodriguez was back in town.
We're not mad at him anymore. Catch up.
Was that not? I'm pretty sure that was a big shelf life, though. That people were mad at him.
Yes.
But we can hold grudges forever. It was just like 10 years or so on this one.
It's longer than 10 years, honey. It's been close to freaking 14.
Honey.
Okay.
14 Sassy
all right, boo. All right, boo.
Girl.
And I will be the first to admit, rewind the tape on this podcast, that I was not happy.
Yeah, Ash was not on board.
I was against it. I was still bitter. I was still angry.
So what made you change your mind, Ash? If you have changed your mind,
I'm still bitter. And
okay, you still got a side eye going.
I still going.
Okay, I'm sure what you do. I heard you.
What you got?
I hear that.
What you got? You better show us what you got. That's it.
So as far as the recruiting trails for football, like what have you seen that's made you encouraged about this upcoming season?
I will say the coaching staff has been extremely promising.
Okay.
In the grand scheme of things, bringing back some old favorites, some successful favorites, but also tapping in to some very smart people and also some very successful people that he once had on his team, aka Pat White and some others.
Right.
Granted, more so in like those consulting roles, but I don't think that that's a negative by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Mostly, I mean, it's just crazy, man. Like Travis Trickett, really anybody else who knows, Trickett's from West Virginia, coaching freaking extraordinaires. You know what I mean? Like people who are good at recruiting. It's bringing back some memorable favorites. Is nostalgia always going to work? Possibly not, but it does get me excited. So we shall see.
That's cool. I because I've always heard that Rich, and I've never personally met him, but I've always heard like his coaching style is kind of similar to Coach Huggins' style as far as just like the motivation part, or just very aggressive, just very old school in his way of doing things. How do and it helps that he has younger guys advising him to kind of keep a perspective of how things are going now in the landscape of because you can't coach that way. Well, I won't say you can't, but it's very hard to coach that way when when a guy can just get up and say, I don't have to deal with this, I'm leaving. And
that's it. And that's the difference between now and then. We'll have to see how that pans out in the long run. I do think that I've always thought that Coach Rod has a very strong football IQ, especially for play calling. I do think that his offensive mind is probably one of very few. He's a rarity in that respect. What a success story it would be. And I'm a firm believer in the universe again reacting when it should. For him to come back and do what we failed to do the first time. Is that just a fantasy? Maybe. But I think time will tell. And I think this year is going to be a good moment to be able to gauge that and see what's going on. I mean, also the fact that these other coaches coming back to get behind him again. Jeff Castile's making a comeback here. There's just so many There's so many people, like, I don't know if you were following during the time where it was like, this coach is now named. This coach is, like, I didn't know we had that many coaches in football. Like, I had no idea. We have a Bandits coach. I don't even know what a Bandits coach is.
Nobody, they made up positions now with everything that's going on. It's like you have to make up new things. It's like you have GMs for teams now.
Noel Devine's on the coaching staff.
Right. It's like, fuck it, just give everybody from the 2004-2005 team on the staff. We'll find a job for them.
National championship, bring them back.
Yeah, we'll find a job for them. Don't worry about that part. We got a lot of jobs to go around.
I will say, and it's funny because we've talked to a few guys over the years who have played for Coach Rod, and every single one of them said, you know, this wasn't Coach Rod's fault with what had happened in that game, blah, 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 that season, da, 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 da. And we all kind of we're like, all right, you know, he's just saying the politically correct thing. But now, actually seeing them all come out of the woodwork and have his back, I think that says a lot. I think that says a lot when guys that played for you, especially during that very tumultuous end of a season, when you abruptly left for another school after almost taking them to a national championship, for them to still have your back, I think that says a lot.
Right.
I really do.
And I think that's the true testament to somebody, because we can always wonder what happened. We don't know. We don't have the inside story of everything, and it might not be as cut and dry as we think it is when it comes to leaving for another school. So we just see it from one perspective, that like, you left us. Like, that's all we see. We don't care why it happened. You did this to us. But to have people coming to bat for you like that, especially former players, they say that tells more than anything. And I don't know. That didn't happen with Coach DeVries. So, like, just kind of going back to that is like, nobody went to bat and saying, oh yeah, you know, we rock with you, Coach. Like, ain't no tweets like that. So it just kind of tells how, you know, things went about. And I'm excited for football season too. And sometimes you leave a spot and you're just like, oh man, I probably should have stayed there. And then you end up, like, the universe, like you said, puts you back in that position where you can come back. So hopefully he takes advantage of it. And if he doesn't recapture that magic from his last time coaching here, how would you feel about that? If let's just say he spent 5-6 years here, never got anywhere. I mean, you won some games, always had a good record, but never got anywhere close to that moment of glory. How would you feel his tenure was?
I mean, I think it depends on how it goes down as to how it's going to feel. Because I also believe that in this day and age, a lot of things can be considered success without being technical success. Especially considering how easy it is for players to move in and out of the portal and everything else. But I think we'll have to gauge that when the time comes and how we feel about it. Because there's a big difference in wins and being mediocre, right? So we'll have to see how it pans out. And I mean, I will say, I was just going through some of the recruits that we've gotten for the upcoming season, and I mean, at least we're getting some commits from 4-star recruits, which is great. So we'll see what kind of team they're going to put together. I think this. Wait, did you say the spring game happened, Dave, or just the spring game talk? Sorry.
Spring game happened this Saturday.
Oh, I missed it. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, John Wynn. That would have been good, right?
Yeah, it would have been. I'm curious to know what the thoughts were.
I sent you in the chat.
Okay.
I think a clip. If you want to watch a little clip of the highlights.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But how much can you gauge from a spring game, Ash?
You can't gauge anything from the spring game because honestly, they're playing against each other, and someone could be a standout, but it could be because they put them against other players that weren't very good.
Right. Like.
So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to see. Ooh. So they said QB legend Bay, whoever this is, took an official visit to WVU and left highly impressed with the program. Legend. His name is Legend. Legend Bay.
Oh, his name is Legend Bay?
Yep.
Like B-A-E?
B-E-Y.
B-E-Y. I was like, B-A, Legend Bay. Would have been crazy.
I know, right? He said it was an amazing experience. I loved everything about this place.
Okay.
Including
okay.
I mean,
Well,
you say including our PRT?
how you think your boy Nico's still around, right?
Yes.
How do you think his season's gonna go? Do you think he's gonna
We'll have to
get
see.
better or?
Well, and that's the other thing too. I don't think it's so much about getting better. I think he needs to be coached a little more. And I think that's somewhere where that Rich Rod can really stand out for him, because also Coach Rod's really good with guys that can run the option. We've seen it with Pat White. Also, not to mention Pat White's consulting on this team. So I do
Not bad.
Because let's remember, we've seen what Nico did on a college level. These are the same kids that are coming up into the collegiate level as well. I don't know if it would, but here's the thing. I'm going to have to hold my judgment till I see it, because I don't know if it's a lack of confidence, if it's a lack of coaching. I honestly felt like he was given really crappy times to come in, and also just really shitty play calling. So we'll have to see how he stands up to it. John had dinner with him the other night, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, I did see that in the chat.
Did he have dinner with him, or was he just in the same place and took a photo together?
It's like, hey, let's take this photo. Let
I'm gonna
people
take John
know
at his
that we
word.
know each other. That was another episode of the Final Forecast featuring me, one of your co-hosts, Kevin Jones, my lovely co-host Ashley,
That's me.
super producer Dave.
Thanks, I'm here, Kev. Good to see you back, buddy.
Good to see
we
you
all
back.
missed you, but Ash didn't.
I know Ash did.
Yeah.
Ash is my favorite.
See,
We're
they can't break
BFFs
our
for
bond,
life.
Kev. They can't
Never.
break it.
They never.
That's it.
Shout out to our friends at the Book Exchange. Don't forget to use our code FORECAST, 4CAST, to save 20% off your order. And I don't know if you paid attention, but they gave away a signed Javon Carter retro jersey
Hey.
this week as part of promo for his Treadmill Mentality Camp that is now officially sold out this
There you
summer.
go. Shout out to JC too and the Chicago Bulls, who are, I mean, they're making a play-in game, so hopefully he has a chance to actually, get to the playoffs and everything. So shout out to him.